special, right? Let's actually speak about Verstappen and the win. What have they accomplished right here? And more importantly, right, let's ask the big question. Have Mercedes become second best? Have Mercedes actually missed out on something? Because there's a really interesting social media question that we've got right here from Vismay. He's asking, could the Merc strategists have done anything different in this situation? What are your thoughts on that? What's happening right here?
Mercedes has already been saying that we probably made an error with Lewis Hamilton's strategy. The second pit stop, maybe they triggered it a little too early. But truth be told, Soumil, it's of course in hindsight. And in hindsight, even Haas can win a world championship. Okay. But in real time, they threw all the tools they had to try and beat Max Verstappen and Red Bull. And at the end of the day, there's just one reason why they actually couldn't do that, right? And that's because the Red Bull was the quicker car. Max was hence the faster driver, the more calm driver. He was not doing the chasing, he was doing the leading. And that's why Mercedes had to try and do things different to try and get the undercut or the overcut to work on Max, because the minute they would have gotten track position on Max, maybe the outcome could have been different. And that's what they were trying to do with the pit stops, try and get track position. So could they have done differently? Yes, in hindsight, like I said, but I think at the end of the day, Red Bull was just the class of the field. They did not put a foot wrong in pit strategy, on tire choices, all of that put together. They did fantastically well. And your question is Mercedes down to being the second best, right? I think at Zandvoort, yes, they were second best. But would I say that for the rest of the season? Probably not, because we have seen how finer margins have literally defined form factor, especially between the top two teams, all through this season. So at the end of this Sunday, I'd say yes, Mercedes was second best, but they did use every tool that they could to try and get the win for Lewis Hamilton, because he is, of course, gunning for a 100th win. And I think it would be a brilliant psychological dent in Verstappen and Red Bull's mind if they actually won at Max's home territory as well. So that's my assessment of the whole Max Verstappen, Red Bull, and the Lewis Hamilton Mercedes battle, Soumil.
Simple as that, right? We just saw how Mercedes were just not there. But they tried, and you can't take that away from them. They tried in terms of strategy, they tried in terms of the car, and Lewis Hamilton, my word, was he having a really frantic race, right? And at Zandvoort, the thing is, the circuit is so relentless, you don't get a moment of peace and calm. There's always attack, and to go out there setting those constant fastest lap times, not even aware if your strategy is the right one or not, that is just quite something. Even in qualifying, that was a pretty awesome one. And strategy-wise, Kunal as well, I think just Red Bull, even though it might have been a bit of an early scare, they just sailed it all the way through. I think the hard tyres, in hindsight, of course, were the right ones to be on.
Yeah, they were. And, very interestingly, they also did not have another set of mediums available for Max's second stop that they did, right? So it was something that they were forced to do, which was take on the hard as well. But also, let's remember, the whole talk after qualifying was that Max is on his own yet again. He doesn't have a wingman. Can Pierre Gasly being his wingman from P4 and the likes? And Mercedes actually used Bottas very well this weekend to try and get Lewis some sort of an advantage. But Soumil, remember, there's a point, after which strategy just takes you that much further into a race. At the end of the day, they were just lacking pace relative to Max Verstappen and Red Bull Racing, and that's my assessment, I would say, right? So they tried everything, and that's we got to give them full marks for that, and just wait out for Mercedes' post-race debrief. They'll come up with better explanation for the strategy, I'm sure.
Well, I wouldn't say Flavio Briatore wouldn't say that they tried everything. They tried everything legal. That's a cheeky dig, yes, but to be honest, Mercedes did, right? They tried very hard to make sure that Bottas was that driver who could assist Lewis, and we saw those gaps getting down as well. But again, pace, that was the difference. Eventually, everything just didn't land up for them. And as you rightly mentioned, Kunal, just, of course, the pace helping out Red Bull Racing and all the pieces working out well for them. But Bottas, right? That was a bit of an absurd one. Let's actually talk about Valtteri Bottas for a little